Now I haven't tied a steelhead fly in a few weeks, so I broke out John Chewy's classic steelhead flies. Found a pretty cool pattern in here. Think you're gonna like it. Hello everybody, welcome back. I'm Matt, thanks for stopping by. So the pattern I'm talking about is the Black Demon. This was created by C. Jim Pray from Eureka, California, sometime in the 1940s. Now it's basically a variant of a more popular fly called the Silver Demon, also created in the 1940s, which is another hair-wing steelhead fly. So this one gets the name the Black Demon because it's a black hair wing. And the recipe I'm using has black bear fur for the wing. But if you don't have bear, just use any black or a dark bucktail. I'm sure it's going to be fine. Now this is not a really complicated pattern, but it is a little bit busy and it's kind of fancy. And you're about to watch me tie it for the first time, so you do see a couple mistakes here. But overall, you'll get the gist of how to tie it. And it is a pretty cool looking pattern. I hope you like it. Let's get started. So there we go in the vise. That's a size 6 salmon fly hook. I've never tied this thing before, so you're about to watch it for the first time. You can tell it's got that bent over eye we're going to have to contend with right off the bat. And I have stepped up my thread. I'm going to use a 140 denier. So what I'm doing, I'm putting a few wraps right there, and I'm going to just try to smooth out that little lump. We can take care of that in a bit, but I'm going to lay down a base of this 70 denier all the way to the bend. Okay, maybe not all the way to the bend because I do have a tag I'm going to put in right before the tail. Now the last time I tied with a gold oval tinsel, I'm going to use a small, but I forget who it was, but they said, hey, just strip off a little bit and then tie in the thread core. So let's try that. Let's just catch in this thread core right here, and maybe, you know what, let's back it up just a little bit more so that our tag is going to be a little farther back. Okay, I think that right here, that should look okay. All right, so make sure you bury all of that white, and now the first wrap should be laying down the tinsel. I'm going to snip this off because we do have a flat tinsel for the body, and we need to be fairly economical with our thread wraps. So let's go ahead and wrap this just touch and turns. I say 4. We'll see how 4 looks. We might want to go 5. We'll see. Okay, that is 4, and let's just kind of pinch those together. Is 4 going to be okay? Let's try 5. Okay. I think that's going to look fine. Now this is a small oval tinsel. I could have probably gone to a medium, but I think that's going to look okay right there. So let's go ahead and snip this off. And next up is the tail. And this thing does have a pretty cool tail. Barred wood duck. So this guy right here, you can see I cut a pretty big piece of it out because I'm going to fold it over. So I've got the piece there. I'm going to fold it in half, kind of like a tent right there. And I'm going to catch this in, and it's pretty long. So let's go. Yeah, I think that right there is going to look okay. Let's try it. Let's just do a pinch wrap right here where we have our thread hanging. And I want it to be coming off the top. Okay, and those fibers are coming off a little bit, but I think we can live with that. So let's take this all the way back to where that tinsel is, the oval tinsel. So I need to go one more back, it looks like. All right. Now we can snip off this excess, and I am going to have to spend a few wraps right here, it looks like, just smoothing this out because of the flat tinsel we're putting next, and if we don't have a pretty smooth right here, we will definitely end up with a lump. So the back is already a little bit bigger than the middle, but we're going to see if we can pull this off. Now I want the silver, so I'm going to use a large Mylar tinsel and a large. I'm going to just catch it on right on top. And we'll see, maybe I should have gone with a size smaller than this, but it's a big hook and I'm gonna live on the edge here and do it with this. It's a large Mylar tinsel. It's actually a size 10. Okay, and I think that's fine right there. Some open wraps right here, just to get my thread back up here. Okay, we do have, it's a little bit fatter on the back than it is up front. We're gonna see if we can live with that. So just wrap this, and I'm gonna try to put one wrap exactly in front of the other with no black thread showing between, but not really overlapping either. So that's my goal here. We'll see if we can pull it off. Okay, let's catch that off. Now that body, it's not beautiful, which is a shame, because if I tie this one nice enough, I want to put it in my Steelhead shadow box that I started a couple months ago. But I don't know if this one's gonna make the cut. Yeah, we'll see. Okay, so next up, I am going to put in a collar. Well, actually it's going to be a throat, but it's orange and some pretty long fibers. So instead of just plugging these out and tying it in as a throat, I'm going to wrap it as a collar and then push it down as a throat. So I'm using, this is not expensive hackle. This is just strung saddle hackle. Let's try 3 wraps right there. And snip this excess off. So we still have 2 more components after this hackle. So let's go ahead and then just wrap this as a big swept back hackle that we're going to push down as a throat. So maybe 3 wraps. We'll see what 3 does for us. I think we can get 1 more. Let's squeeze 1 more out of this. All right, now catch it off right here. Snip this excess. And now let's bunch it all up and then push it down. So just kind of split the top right there, how you do this, and then push your fibers down before we really catch it in. Okay. I'm going to take a few wraps back, and this should keep it for the most part down here as a throat. Okay, my hook slipped just a little bit. Let's stand that back up. I might want to trim a couple of these or try and pluck them out, because they're coming off the top, or probably just shouldn't worry about it. But let's do what we have right here. Now for the wing, it is bare. Recipe calls for bare. I got a small tuft. I'm handling this pretty much just like I do a bucktail. And if you don't have a black bear, use bucktail. Use black bucktail, or any dark, I'm sure is going to look fine. So fairly long tail, maybe not as long as or fairly long wing, but not quite as long as the tail. So let's try catch it in right here. I should have probably waxed my thread, because this is a little bit slippery, but it's not too bad. Let's see if we can keep that on top of the hook. I think we have, but I still need to take a few more wraps back. Okay, I think that's going to be fine. And then our head's getting a little bit big on us, but we'll be all right. Let's go ahead and snip this off. Just get in here and as close as you can get it. Now, before we put any more thread wraps, let's go with the jungle cock eyes. And this one has some pretty long ones. So I took some of the bigger ones off my cape, and it's about at least to the half of the body. So let's see if we can get this positioned on here how we like. I think that's going to do it right there. Now a couple wraps to secure this first one. All right. Let's do the same thing on my side. Just try to get the lengths the same. I don't always succeed in that, and you don't sometimes notice until you're done, which is a little bit annoying, but if you can remember to check them before, you're usually in a little better shape. Okay, so those lengths are the same, but one of them is coming out just a little bit, so I need to take a few more wraps back right here to really get this one bound in. Okay, I think we're in fine shape with this. Now let's snip off the stems for these jungle cockeyes. And clean up our head. Doesn't look too bad. And I'm gonna let my thread try to let it flatten out just a little bit right here. Maybe I can get a cleaner head right here. So just a few extra wraps while this thread is fairly flat. And got a little bit of orange showing right there, but I'm gonna leave it. At least one side of the fly will look good. Don't need both sides looking good, right? Let's do about a 5-turn whip finish right here. And if we need any cleanup, now's the time to do it. So, okay, critiquing this fly for the first time I tied it, the head's a little big and that body isn't as smooth as I would like. But other than that, this is a fishable fly. I'm happy enough with it. So I think I'll leave it and we'll see if we can edit this video to make it worth watching. All right, everybody, I do appreciate you watching. Y'all take care and we'll see you next time.